Hi class, this is Miss Peacock, and I need us to look at the research paper topic sheet so we can discuss some specifics about this assignment. A research paper requires outside sources of information, so that could be books, articles, videos, interviews, etc., to fully argue a stance on a particular topic. So it really doesn't depend so much on the media that you're using as far as if it's a interesting documentary or a good interview or a magazine article or book. Really, it just depends on the reliability of the information. So if you're not sure if the source is reliable, feel free to send me the information about the source, whether that's a website link or description of what it is, and I can let you know. But you are allowed to use different types of media for this research paper. I would not recommend Wikipedia or any blog sites, but as far as a reliable source, you can use multiple types of media. But you're using this outside source to fully argue a stance on a particular topic. Every source that is utilized must have both an in-text citation attached to the sentence that has the source information. So an example of that would be Bowden 45. Bowden would be the author's last name, and page 45 would be the page where you found the information. You'll also have a citation on the works cited page. This research paper must include at least 2 outside sources. That's the minimum. So of course, if you find 3, 4, 5 outside sources, feel free to include those as well, but your minimum is 2 outside sources. So at this point, we're going to turn to the Siegel textbook, your English 101 textbook, and I'm going to show you what I mean by a works cited page. So a works cited page is the very last page of a research paper. It lists every single outside source that you used. So whether you just pulled one quote from it or if you got several sentences from the outside source, you will include that source and the information for that source on the citation page. Notice you usually start with an author's last name, then the first name, then a title, so on and so forth, and it depends on what type of source you're citing on what else is included in the citation. But luckily your textbook in this green chapter, the MLA chapter, it has examples on how to cite different types of sources. So this is what the finished works cited page will look like, but as you're citing each source, it could be that you use, say for instance, an interview or streaming, if there's a film you're streaming. They've got personal letters, emails, reviews. I mean, they've got all these different types of citations. Here's the book citation page. I definitely recommend flipping through this green chapter, especially once you've found some outside sources you want to cite. Also, let's take a look at Wallace's main page because there's a really good database that I want to show you guys. So if you go to wallace.edu and then Campus Life and Resources and then Library, and once you've gotten to the library page, scroll down to LRC databases. And databases are just a collection of academic sources that have been peer-reviewed, which means that they're all reliable sources. The Alabama Virtual Library has really good resources. This page has been popping up lately. To get around it, you just click Advanced, and then this link here, Proceed to, and then the link, because it is a reliable source. Once you get into AVL, click College and University, and then I recommend going to EBSCOhost. EBSCOhost has information about a lot of different sources and topics, so definitely recommend EBSCOhost search. And say you want to research William Shakespeare, because of course he's one of my favorites. William Shakespeare. Just going to show you how this works. So you search up here, and then of course there's a ton of ebooks and articles and all sorts of resources that pop up. All of these are reliable sources you can use. Once you click the title of the source, there's a description of the source. It has all this information about the source, and to read it you just click PDF full text to read the actual source. I'm going to show you a really nifty tool. If you click Cite here, you can scroll down to MLA, and it's already done the citation for you. So you can literally copy and paste this into your works cited page if you've used information from the source, of course. So that's such a nifty little tool. Also for in-text citations, whatever your works cited page starts with, your entry, is what goes in the parentheses. So for instance, this author is Johnson. and then say if you found a page number Johnson 47, then that's going to be what goes in those parentheses at the end of the quote or the end of the piece of information that you found. So it's just really helpful. So I definitely recommend checking out the Alabama Virtual Library, specifically EBSCOhost, is a really good resource to see. So just wanted to show you also in your textbook, we've got examples of in-text citations here. It's page 154. And this will show you how to look within the sentence with a quotation. Notice it's quotation mark, parentheses, the author's last name, the page number, parentheses, period. Period ends the in-text citation. One question I get pretty often is what happens if there isn't an author listed, especially a lot of our websites. They may be reliable sources, but just not list an author. Page 156 at the top shows how that'll look. It's author unknown, and notice you put the article title at the end. This article title is Every Patient's Nightmare, and it's in quotation marks to show that it's an article title. So also notice since it's a website, there's no page number. Websites don't list page numbers. So just depending on what kind of source you have will change the in-text citation and the citation on the works cited page. But if you're ever not sure how to cite something, please let me know. I'm happy to give you extra assistance. Also, the Writing Center tutors are fantastic at helping with citations as well. They're very knowledgeable on how to do MLA citations. So notice though in the description of this assignment, you will have to have 2 outside sources, and that is your minimum for the assignment. The rough draft is going to be due Wednesday, July 5th by midnight in discussions, and that's going to be for peer review, just like we peer reviewed for the descriptive narrative essay. We'll have peer review for this as well. The final draft, which is the one I'm going to grade, is due Wednesday, July 12th by midnight in the Week 8 content folder. It'll literally say, submit your research paper final draft here, and that's the one I will grade. Notice your research paper is worth 30% of your final grade, so quite a bit more than your first essay, but that's because it's a longer essay and it'll involve more work. Your research paper should be at least 1,000 words in length, and that does count that works cited page and your in-text citations. But 1,000 words is the minimum. If you go over, that's all right. I wouldn't recommend going way over. Like I've had some students that turn in 2,000 word papers, and I mean, I don't count off for going over, but I just don't want you doing so much extra work versus your classmates that may turn in a 1,001 word paper and get a similar grade. So definitely put that into mind as you're writing. And notice I didn't list what topics you can write about. I am open to suggestions. I want your research paper to be about something you really want to know more about. You're genuinely interested in this topic because you are going to spend the next several weeks working on this paper, and I want to make sure that you're invested in your research. So when you are choosing a topic, try to choose something you genuinely want to know more about and are interested in versus just some topic you think I want to hear about. I want it to be something you genuinely want to know more about. So I've gotten some really cool papers about historical events, pop culture icons, some of the hot button issues, of course. So just depending on your interests, you can pull your interests into this paper. And so if you're not sure what direction to take, you can always email me as well, and I'll give you some extra guidance as needed. You can even tell me what hobbies you have or what interests you have, and I can help narrow it down into a researchable topic. So depending on how much guidance you need, I can help facilitate that. But you will have a topic proposal for this paper, just like you did for the descriptive narrative, and that's going to help me help you essentially, and that'll let me know what direction you're taking this paper. Notice the formatting is 12-point Times New Roman font, double space with MLA heading and style. That's all the same as it was for your first essay. The only difference is this must have a works cited page. It's not a research paper without a works cited page. Notice the works cited page I showed you guys earlier in this video is not a list of links. That's not just copying and pasting website links. You have to actually finish those citations and put them in alphabetical order, put them in the correct formatting. So if you do have any questions about that, please let me know. Also, we do have a fantastic writing center who can help you with the works cited page as well. As always, there's a final draft late submission rule, so just make sure you turn in your final draft on the 12th and you won't have to worry about any points being deducted. All of your final drafts are going to be graded using the same grading rubric that's on the Getting Started page and will be scanned with anti-plagiarism software. So just make sure your paper is your paper and that you give credit to all of the outside sources you use, and you won't have to worry about plagiarism. But if you're not sure if something is plagiarism, please email me. I'd much rather you send me a quick email to check to see if something's plagiarism versus accidentally plagiarizing. So just let me know if you're not sure whether or not you're accidentally plagiarizing or not giving enough credit to the source. There's a spot for brainstorming and outlining at the bottom, but that is optional. Some students prefer to write out their notes. Others like to just jump right in and start typing. But I always like to provide that option for you guys. So as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm here to help you, and I know a research paper can be daunting, but I am here to support you even in this online format. Have a wonderful day.